49ers update on the way to Rome. If you don't believe me, there's the screen, there's the sky, and we've got quite the setup here as we're about to talk about the offensive line. There's Bill Walsh. Shout out to United Polaris with the Saks Fifth Avenue pillows. And they're going to put doors into these first-class suites at some point, and I think that's going to make it even easier to do 49ers updates. But let's talk. Chris Foerster has endorsed Jake Brendel very fully. This is not new. We've known over the course of this offseason that the 49ers like Jake Brendel a lot more than social media and the outside public does. I think that the focus for the 49ers offensive line, though, needs to be elsewhere because obviously they're not getting an upgrade at center. They didn't sign Drew Dahlman. Drew Dahlman went for, $15 million a year. They weren't going to go that far. I think in the past we have seen the 49ers take bigger swings at center with Weston Richburg and with Alex Mack, but it just is not going to happen this offseason. It didn't happen this offseason. The focus needs to be on the guard positions to the left and to the right of the center because the entire interior line is going to work as a cohesive unit. And it's the left guard position where the 49ers have the biggest opportunity to improve from 2024 to 2025. Addition by subtraction. Aaron Banks did not have a good year in 2024. Aaron Banks is gone. The market for offensive linemen went wild, and Aaron Banks signed for $19 million annually with the Packers. So, now I've watched these practices. 2 of these OTAs have been open. Ben Bartch is the guy taking every single 49ers first team rep at that left guard position, and I expect him to be the starter moving into the season. He was really good in his limited time filling in for Aaron Banks last year. The problem for Bartch is that he suffered the high ankle sprain, so he didn't get longer to show it last season. But against Buffalo in the snow, and then for the first part of that game against Chicago, I thought that he was an upgrade over Aaron Banks. Dominic Pooney was really good last year. I thought he hit a little bit of a rookie wall at the right guard position, but Dominic is somebody who should be counted on to become a fixture for the 49ers at right guard. So if you can improve both of the guard positions, and I think that the 49ers have a legitimate path to be able to do that, then center is probably going to look better as well. Chris Foerster said that Jake Brendel put together the best season of any center in the Kyle Shanahan era, or at least since Chris Foerster had been around. I think he came aboard in 2019. I find that hard to believe when Alex Mack has been on the football team in that time. I know that Weston Richburg got hurt in the middle of that 2019 season at New Orleans, so maybe he's not counting him, but Weston played really good football for the 49ers. But Alex Mack in 2021 was a top 5 graded pass protector. I will say that Brendel surprised a lot in 2022 when he first became a starter. He delivered number 7 graded pass protection on tape. He was much better than people thought he was going to be in the pass protection aspect of the game. But I do think that part of his resume has slipped. Foerster says 2024 was his best year. Maybe his best finish. I thought that he got better as the season did go along, but I have a hard time buying that was the best center season that the 49ers or Chris Foerster have seen in the Shanahan scheme over the past few years. But he's got to support his guy. And right now the 49ers are, I think, getting what they're paying for at the center position. Brendel is making just over $4 million a year. That ranks number 16 of all centers. But we do know that they have constantly gone for players who are better in run blocking than pass protection, and then they try to scheme it accordingly. But they're paying middle of the pack money at best for a middle of the pack center at best. And people will probably say, well, think Jake Brendel with the knee tendonitis and the way that he was perceived to have slipped in 2024 would argue that this is a below average center, and if that's your conclusion, fine. But that's what the 49ers are working with. So let's be pragmatic about this. How do they make this offensive line better? I would say left guard and right guard are the two positions that support the center the most. And left guard can legitimately get better. I think there's a clear path for left guard to get better with Ben Bartch, and I think there's a clear path for Dominic Booney to make a year to jump as well for San Francisco. Remember that this offensive line was actually significantly more effective than people give it credit for in pass protection this past season. They weren't very good in 2023, which is what I find to be one of the great ironies, paradoxes, whatever you want to call it, about the past two seasons of 49ers football. In 2023, the 49ers had a historically good offense, but a decidedly below average offensive line. It's a testament to Brock Purdy, I think especially Brock Purdy, for making that work. And it's a testament, obviously, to all the skill position weapons for working with Purdy, working with Shanahan, developing quick separation to allow the 49ers to overcome the O-line issues. In 2024, though, they got better up front. We saw Dominic Booney replace Spencer Burford. We saw Colton McKivitz take a big step. So the whole right side got a lot better, even if Jake Brendel might have gotten worse, and obviously that's disputed by Chris Furster, but they got better up front, but they obviously got worse as an offense. And we trace it back to the injuries, to the skill positions, and I think by extension, Kyle Shanahan didn't have his best season. So things tumbled for the 49ers, and people often associate the offensive line with the majority of the regression. But the offensive line, actually, if you look at the pass block win rate and you look at some of the other metrics, they might have gotten better in 2024. I think the truth is a complicated one. I think certain positions took steps back and certain positions took steps up. But to improve center, you've got to improve what's around it. You have to improve that left guard spot, and you have to make sure that Dominic Booney takes that next step. So stop worrying so much about Jake Brendel. He is who he is. He's a center at the middle of that 49ers scheme, and the 49ers have to make sure that collectively they continue to get better up front in front of Brock Purdy.